Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my video. Um, in this meeting, I will give you a new material, yeah. After in the 10th meeting, we discuss about textbook evaluation. Now we will move on to the material design. But let me share to you first for the opening of this video as usual about the vision of the Universitas Selatan Samashiro menjadi universitas yang unggul, berdaya saing global, berjiwa entrepreneurship, dan meneruskan akhlakul karimah. And then the vision of Faculty of Teacher Training and Education menjadi fakultas keguruan dan ilmu pendidikan yang unggul pada penyiapan bahan ajar basis digital dan edupreneur yang dapat berdaya saing global dijiwai akhlakul karimah. And also our English Education Study Program Vision menjadi program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris yang unggul pada penyiapan bahan ajar basis digital dengan pendekatan kearifan lokal, serta edupreneur yang memiliki daya saing global, jiwai akhlakul karimah. And, okay, one Quran Surah Az-Zumar, verse 9. Say are those who know equal to those who do not know. Indeed, only those who endow with understanding will take it. This Quran Surat Az-Zumar verse 9, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala emphasized the significant difference between those who possess knowledge and someone who never want to learn something, yeah. People with a complete knowledge, they will have the ability, yeah, to gain deeper understanding of life, religion, and the world, and also will have some wisdom, yeah, for every event in their life, or they want to decide something, they will decide in a wisely, yeah, and with more carefully because they know the knowledge about these matters, yeah. Through this knowledge, one becomes wiser and more capable of guiding oneself, even others, yeah, toward the the right path. This means that as a Muslim, if we have enough knowledge, then this knowledge will guide us in the good one, yeah, from this in this world and also in the hereafter. We will always in the right path, based on the Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said everything inside the Quran, yeah. Okay. Now let's move to our material today. I will share again to you for the material. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, actually, this material design, if you can see here in the screen, yeah, you may see there is a cover, book cover here. This one of the my books, yeah, that I developed, I create during my master degree as for my thesis research project, yeah. And I developed the English material for a vocational school, yeah, especially for the nursing program. That's how this book's coming out, yeah, and already has a series number for library, national library, or we call it ESPN, yeah. Okay, everyone, let's talk about this material about material design. Starting from the course outline, we will talk about why do we need a book about material development and why do teachers need to develop teaching materials? What are the materials? What do we need materials for? And the last one, 5 key purposes of materials. We will discuss about it one by one. Okay, let's discuss the why do we need a book about material development. Is it still we needed this before we want to develop a certain materials? Yeah, materials can be anything, not only books or textbooks. You can also develop the material like as just a slide. Even this is just a slide, several slide in the PowerPoint, and you take some of the material coming from the website or from the books. It's fine. It's still call it material, yeah. But actually, for the material that we want to discuss here, the goal is not that's a simple one, yeah, that I give you the example before about the material that you develop in the slide, yeah. But it's more like uh design material in the textbook, yeah, because based on the OBE, outcome based um education curriculum, uh the students should do some project and do the collaborative learning, and the result should be a product, yeah. That's why for this course, I hope that all of you can produce a textbooks, yeah, that we can publish it to the books publisher and get your serial numbers of the National Library. Okay, so why do we need the books about material development? Of course, to understand why uh, is it really needed to develop material, English material, in your current situation of your teaching and learning process. Is it needed or not? Yeah. You have to understand first about the material development. And then, why do teachers need to develop teaching material? Of course, again, the why do teachers need to develop teaching material is based on your situation. If the existing material, it can be the textbook or anything that exists in your school or in your current situation as a teacher at the institution that you teach, is you feel that this there is no material that match the students need, yeah, where we know the students need. Of course, it based on the learning objective. The learning objective is coming from the curriculum, yeah. The axis curriculum today is Merdeka curriculum. You have to pay more attention from the phase, the student's level, and then the learning objective. By doing so, from all the elements inside the curriculum, and you will understand the student's need, yeah, and your learning goals, of course. That's why this you can answer the question, yeah, about why do teachers need to develop. Teachers need to develop when is it really needed? the material. Yeah. If there is no match material around you, then you have to make it yourself. Or you can mix and match for today's because there are so many, a myriad of material, teaching material. You can find it in the website, in the application. All you need is already there. Yeah. Some of the professional educators, even the teachers, already post their material that they develop themselves. Yeah. It can be a PDF, ebook, or even some of the video in a YouTube channel. That's the sample of the teaching materials. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. What are materials? I think I already talked about this. Yeah. What are the material? Material can be the textbook, can be anything. Yeah. Let's see here. Based on the Tomlinson 2011, yeah, he provides an interesting answer for this, talking about the what is material. Materials are anything which is used by teachers and learners to facilitate the learning of a language. Materials could obviously be videos, DVD, emails, YouTube, dictionaries, grammar books, readers, workbooks, photocopy exercise, anything, yeah. So Tomlinson said, material is anything that can be used by the teachers and learners to facilitate the learning process. They could also be a newspaper, food packages, photographs, live talk given by invited native speaker, instruction by given a teacher, tasks written on cards, or discussion between learners. Everything can be the materials. But you have to put much attention that even if material can be anything, but you have to be selective, yeah, to choose which one of the material that can be used in your teaching and learning process, especially in your classroom. Because different classroom, different teachers, maybe they will have a different style of teaching and learning. And also, if it is the for the material, still the same topic, the same material can be different outcomes. Yeah. So this is really the matter that important. Yeah. As a teacher, you have to be more selective in this era to choose the best learning material. Okay. And what do we need material for? Okay, let's see here. What is the need of the material? Of course, if there is a question, something like this, the answer is always come back to the learning outcome or learning goals. Yeah. Material is always something like a transfer knowledge. This transfer knowledge, um, something like to be transferred need something real, right? That's the real one for this process is the materials. Okay, that's why there is example here, the story coming from the British Council teachers, yeah, that tried to set up and develop a certain English material, yeah, from the needs, what the students needs here. Let's see here. A group of British Council teachers working in Southeast Asia on a short material development course which took place in Bangkok in 2011. They said we want materials too. This is what they need, yeah, to develop the material. Arouse our learners' interest, the first one. Yeah. The second one, be challenging enough. The third, make the students feel that they are having a properly planned class. If we take a look from these three kinds of need of the material, the first one talking about the learner's interest, and the second one is about the learner's challenge. The third one is talking about the when the teacher have the material, it means that teachers and also surrounding all the class is properly planned. Yeah. If we have a certain material, then we design the lesson plan and then prepare the material. It means that the circumstances surrounding the teaching and learning process is already been planned well. Yeah. This will make the students more interest to following the lesson. And then next, support and guide both the students and the teacher and provide structure and preparation, even if this is not explicit. Provide a variety of experience in terms of text. Be a resource that introduces and or reinforces areas of lexis or grammar. And teach new skill and strategies that our learners really need. Provide knowledge about other cultures. Be a springboard that stimulates students to engage with the language and use it. Guide learners to be more autonomous. Be flexible for other teachers to use or for teachers to personalize. And the last one, provide teachers with sound teaching principles. These all that make the British Council teachers working in the Southeast Asia to develop a certain material. Yeah. This is what their goals, yeah, what they want to achieve to develop the material. And look at here. We can also decide the 5 key purposes of the materials that we want to develop. The first one is look at here. Materials meet a psychological need. Yeah. First, through text, topics, tasks, and visual materials can provide motivation for the learners, which it is difficult for the teacher alone to sustain. Secondly, in the case of a set of course materials, they give learners and teachers at least a sense of order, progression, and indeed meet their expectation that learning involve materials. Actually, um, if you as a teacher alone teaching without any material, you just speak blah 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 in front of your students, that will be something boring, yeah. But if you meet your students and you really ready for your teaching process, you bring your teaching material, then everything is already be prepared. Yeah. This will help your class is more alive because this material will guide you and your students during a teaching and learning process. That's why this will uh, lean up the students' motivation. And for this, uh, the psychological needs of the students in learning process also will arise. Okay. As for the materials, the second one, the materials provide exposure to the language. Teachers themselves are, of course, important sources of exposure to the target language, but they cannot provide the range of exposure, different spoken and written genres, or even the styles, different accent, and many more, which can be achieved through carefully selected listening and reading text and through visual media. That's why, uh, as an English teacher, especially in a non-native countries, me myself or another non-native English teachers, sometimes we feel a bit hard, difficult in some cases, yeah. Especially when you rarely um what is it? Practice your speaking English. It will be so hard if you want to teach your students to mastery the speaking, the tone, the pronunciation, even if for the fluency to speak in English. That's why if you have these weaknesses, what should you do is searching for the material that can help you to teach this skill. If you have a weaknesses in speaking English, don't forget. Today there are so many material in the website, even in the YouTube channel. You can choose which one is available and a match with your students' need, yeah, in a different level. So many. Even if you want to make a example, a real example from the native speaker, you can choose from the England, UK, or American English. You can choose there in the YouTube channel. So many videos can help you to teach the speaking English. So don't worry. Even in a listening, if you are not really confident with yourself as a speaker for your students during the listening, you can also search the material that fit and match for your students. Yeah, that's what the material provide exposure to the language. Okay, and let's see here. The third, materials are vehicles of information. You know vehicles, right? When we want to go somewhere from the first place to another place, if the it's a bit far away, yeah, we need we couldn't do it by a barefoot, then we can take some of the vehicles, yeah. This is the same as the material are vehicles of information. Materials can provide information about grammar or even vocabulary about the target language and the culture. And other cultures which may be more accurate and comprehensive than the teachers alone. They can also provide learner training in different skill and strategies. Yeah, for this. So, when you deliver the material can be contained with the cultures. Why this is really needed? Why cultures should be insert into the English material? Because this culture will make something different. What is the difference between your English material with the English material that developed by the native speaker? If you don't put the culture. That's why to make the English material more local, yeah, and make this more real life situation with our students in Indonesia. That's why we need to put some of the Indonesian culture, not put the American or England culture that our students never know before. It will make the language is even more foreign for the students, yeah. Because English is already a foreign language, even if today English is already a global, yeah. But some of the places in Indonesia still the student feel that English is a foreign language, yeah, not a global language. But I believe that in the big city like Jakarta, English is already common in for the children, even as their second language, yeah, after the Bahasa Indonesia, yeah, the national language. But unfortunately, in for the rural area in Indonesia, English is something like a foreign, yeah, foreign language that's it's a bit difficult to learn. That's why putting the culture inside the material of English learning will help the students uh, easy to learn the language, the English language, because they know that's this culture is coming from their local culture, yeah, from their local area. They know it better and just put it some or deliver it using the English. Okay. And for the fourth, materials provide a stimulus for other activities. Materials, text or tasks, for example, can elicit an oral or written response from learners. This might be in the form of an immediate reaction to a text or a more extended discussion, or even the debate or project. Materials can also be of a broader educational value in introducing learners to topics beyond their own experience and by fostering more independent learning. Materials can also stimulate teachers to think of their own ideas of how best to exploit them. That this is why the materials can provide the stimulus to the students during the learning activities. Because some of the materials can be motivate the students when the material is engaging eye-catching maybe, or even your material is coming from the video that's a multimodal something that make the student, wow, that's amazing story. Not only reading from um textbook that's only the student can see the words line by line, but they can watch for the real, yeah, even if it's a movie or something like a stories, they can enjoy it, yeah. Not only watch, but they can listen. Yeah. That's will motivate them to learn. That's how this material will provide the stimulus for the students. Okay. And then the last one, materials can act as a teacher education. Materials, particularly those with an accompanying teacher's book, can provide good models of practice for teachers, especially if the teacher's book gives a clear rationale for the approach. So once again, um, if you see in the screen, this is also another of my books, yeah, that I developed when I was in um the last project of my bachelor degree, yeah. I developed this book for the junior high school, Islamic junior high school, a boarding school, yeah. This focus on the writing book, yeah, for the students, because at that time when I was researching there, the students is having a difficult time on the writing, yeah, from the other English skill. They feel hard to do the writing task. And actually, the existing writing activity isn't matched with their needs. So that's why I developed this uh, contextual writing book for the students there. I also make everything contextual. That's why this cover of this book is also taken the photograph from the student there. Yeah. Okay, so when the materials is fully covered, yeah, and complete with the accompanying there is a student's book and the teacher's books, it means that everything is complete together as the one materials. So this will help the teaching and learning process. Yeah. The teacher's book can be used to help the teachers guiding everything during the process of teaching. And the student's book can help the student more autonomous or even collaborative learners, yeah, in their learning process, of course. Okay. Okay, then is it okay? That's the all of my slide actually, yeah, about the material design. So everyone, let me stop here and maybe I will continue for the next material design and for the example of how to develop the material step by step in the next meeting, in the next video, yeah. And mm, okay, hopefully you can follow everything. And before I really close this video, As usual, I will give you the assignment. Okay, here we go. The assignment is still the same, yeah, but I will give you a different assignment for the video in the meeting, in the next meeting, yeah, in, is it the 11? And then for the 12th meeting, I will give you a different assignment from this, yeah. But this assignment I will give you there. As usual, watch my recorded teaching video, understand the material, yeah, and summarize everything. Give the three important key points of the material. Explain it by yourself by recording into a video in frame. Your video should be around 3 minutes or more, and don't forget to share your link video in the Google Classroom assignment, yeah. Okay, that's all everyone that I can share to you in this video. See you again in the next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.